New in version 7.3 of Lightroom Classic CC are custom profiles, which are like presets. They're like Instagram filters kind of, and you apply them really before you start your editing. They're cool. I'll show you how they work in just a second. You can also create new custom profiles in kind of a weird way. So I'll show you the trick of how to do it. You can bring in LUTs, if you know what those are, lookup tables. If you do video editing or you want a video look applied to your pictures, I think it's a really kind of cool feature. If you aren't yet using Lightroom Classic CC, you can get it with Photoshop for like 10 bucks a month over at sdp.io/Adobe deal. If you don't have it, this will give you a free trial so you can play with it and see what we do. So let's pop into Lightroom here. I'm in the develop module. You can see at the top of the basic panel here now are profiles, and there's a list you can click, but what you'll really do is you'll click that little set of boxes there, and now you can browse through all the different profiles, and you can see they have a bunch of different settings that you can just hover your mouse over and get an idea. They also have some artistic ones down here, modern, vintage. So these just kind of create a look that you can use to start your editing. But as you can imagine, you're a creative professional. You might want to make your own. Here's how you do it. You don't actually do it in Lightroom. Instead, you'll go into Photoshop, which is included in that same deal I was just talking about. You'll open up an image. It's going to be a raw image. And when you open it, it's going to open up the Adobe Camera Raw. And so what we can do here is apply whatever settings we want. So maybe you want to give it kind of that washed out look, like you'll raise the shadows a little bit, lower the highlights a little bit. This works a lot like Lightroom. You'll recognize all the same settings. You know, here we have clarity and dehaze, but you'll be flipping through these weird tiny little tabs here. So you can do just about anything you would do in Lightroom here. You can even go in and apply presets that you like and put those into your profile too. When you're done, hit this. You'll see this little new preset thing here. You want to go to the presets tab, which has these sliders. Normally, if you click this, you'd be making a new preset out of your settings. You're going to hold down the Alt key on a Windows computer or the Opt key on a Mac. Hold down that key and click it. And now you can see instead of getting a new preset dialog, we get the new profile dialog. So we'll call it Tony's Cowgirl. I don't know. And you can see there are checkboxes here, which allow you to choose which groups of those settings. It'll automatically select any settings that you change, so you don't need to touch this, but if you decided you wanted to turn off split toning, you could. You don't necessarily need to change any of these things. I think where it gets interesting is that you can apply a color lookup table here, and it loads cube files. So if you click this, it's going to open up this browser that will allow you to find your cube file, and I have some that we use for video editing. I have them saved on the NAS here. So any of these cube files will work just fine. Let's try this movie look cube. You can find LUTs, lookup tables, cube files freely on the web. You can also buy them. Video editors use them a lot. If you have a .lut file or a different format of LUT file, you can convert it into the cube file. This Adobe Camera Raw only takes cube files. So you have to put it into a .cube extension before you can import it into here. Now this gets a little weird because we went in and changed all those settings to get the look that we wanted so that we could apply it to other profiles. But at the same time, we're now adding in a lookup table, which will completely change the look of the image in a way that it doesn't allow you to preview. So you have to already be familiar with the lookup file because it's not going to allow you to preview it here. And if you are generating a profile based on the lookup table, you probably don't want to do these other treatments because you can't really see it until you get it into Lightroom. These custom profiles are kind of weird, and the ability to make them is still kind of hacked together. So I'm not necessarily recommending everybody do this, but I did want to show you how because there are reasons you might want to do it. It's kind of fun. You can see at the bottom of the color lookup table thing here, they allow you to adjust how much the user can dial up or dial down the effect of the setting. So you'll see later that we can drag a slider up or down to control the intensity, and that's just saying up to 200%. So I will save that, and it's done. Now it's saved that lookup file for me. Before I can actually access it, I'm going to have to go back into Lightroom, close Lightroom, and then reopen it because Lightroom only seems to scan for these profiles when it first starts up. So let's restart Lightroom. Now, as we get back into the develop module here, let's open up the profile browser again. If I scroll down all the way to user profiles, we'll see the one I just made, Tony's Cowgirl. So now I can apply that here. And well, that looks like garbage, largely because I made settings and then applied a LUT, but hopefully you get the idea. That's how it works. If I want to make this profile appear more prominently, I can click this add to favorites. And that way I don't have to necessarily open up the profile browser. I can just click this list and then select it here. If you're wondering where all these profiles are actually stored, in case you make a custom profile and you want to share it with somebody, go up to the edit preferences. And then as we go to the presets tab here, under location, click show Lightroom presets folder, and this will open it up in Explorer. So within the Adobe folder, it's going to be under Camera Raw and then Settings. And here you'll see a bunch of XMP files, possibly including user presets that you might have had before. But here's the one I just made, Tony's Cowgirl. If you want to move this to a different computer, just copy it like any other file, but put it in that same destination folder, Adobe Camera Raw Settings, and then restart Lightroom. That's about all you have to know about making these custom profiles. There's this weird kind of conflict now where you could do things with profiles, and using the profile browser is cool because they have thumbnails, but most of this should still be done in presets. The one exception to this is really going to be if you want to apply a lookup table because you have some experience with color grading in video. If you don't yet have Lightroom CC or Photoshop, head to sdp.io/AdobeDeal and get a free trial. It's pretty cheap after that. And if you actually want to learn this stuff, check out my Lightroom Classic CC book, which we just updated for version 7.3 because you get free updates. As long as Adobe's calling it Lightroom Classic CC, we will keep giving you free updates. So all those new updates they're giving you, you don't have to pay us every month like you do Adobe, you just have to buy it once, and we keep giving you new training, new videos. It includes over 14 hours of video right now, but as new features come out, we make new videos to help educate you, so check it out at sdp.io/LR, or you can just search for Tony Northrup at Amazon and check out any of our books. Subscribe for more free tutorials, post-processing, photography, camera reviews, we have it all. If you have follow-up questions or comments, add it down below. Bye.